Brothers and sisters, it's Pimetus. It's my second video of my new blog. And I said I would talk about Agenda 21, and so this is what Agenda 21 is all about. Basically, they're going to suspend the Constitution, and we won't have any rights after that. And what Obama's going to do is he's going to declare a state of natural emergency. And when he does that, he can execute any executive order he wants. And here are some of the executive orders that your government actually has just waiting to execute. Executive Order 10990 allows the government to take over all modes of transportation and control of highways and seaports. Executive Order 10995 allows the government to seize and control the communication media. Executive Order 10997 allows the government to take over all electrical power, gas, petroleum, fuels, and minerals. Executive Order 10998 allows the government to seize all means of transportation, including personal cars, trucks, or vehicles of any kind, and total control over highways, seaports, and waterways. They're talking about your vehicles. Executive Order 10999 allows the government to take over all food resources and farms. Executive Order 11000 allows the government to mobilize civilians to work under brigades under government supervision. This is slave labor by a tyrannical government. Executive Order 11001 allows the government to take over all health, education, and welfare functions. If you look into this executive order, it's a lot worse than it sounds. Executive Order 11002 designates the Postmaster General to operate a national registration of all persons. This includes having a national ID, which is against the Constitution. Executive Order 11003 allows the government to take over all airports, aircraft, including commercial aircraft. Executive Order 11004 allows the Housing and Finance Authority to relocate communities, build new housing with public funds, designate areas to be abandoned, and establish new locations for populations. How would you like this to happen to your neighborhood? Executive Order 11005 allows the governments to take over railroads, inland waterways, and public storage facilities. Executive Order 11051 specifies the responsibility of the Office of Emergency Planning and gives authorization to put all executive orders in effect in times of increased international tensions and economic or financial crisis in which they are creating at this moment with the government shutdown. Executive Order 11310 grants the authority to the Department of Justice to enforce the plans set out in executive orders to institute industrial support to establish judicial and legislative liaison to control all aliens, to operate penal and correctional institutions, and to advise and assist the President. Executive Order 11049 assigns FEMA function to federal departments and agencies, consolidating 21 operative executive orders issued over a 15-year period. Executive Order 11921 allows the Federal Emergency Preparedness Agency, FEMA, to develop plans to establish control over the mechanisms of the production and distribution of energy sources, wages, salaries, credit, and flow of money in the U.S. Financial institutions in any undefined national emergency. It also provides that when a state of emergency is declared by the President, Congress cannot review the actions for 6 months. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has broad powers in every aspect of the nation. General Frank Salcedo, chief of FEMA's Civil Security Division, stated in 1983 conference that he saw FEMA's role as a new frontier in the protection of individual and governmental leaders from assassination and civil and military installations from sabotage and/or attack, as well as prevention or dissident groups from gaining access to U.S. opinion or global audience in times of crisis. FEMA's powerful powers were consolidated by the President Carter to incorporate the continued from Executive Order 119121 National Security Act of 1947, allows for the strategic relocation of industry, services, government, and other essential economic activities, and to rationalize the requirements for manpower, resources, production, facilities. The 1950 Defense Production Act gives the President sweeping powers over all aspects of the economy. Act of August 29, 1916. Authorizes the Secretary of the Army in time of war to take possession of any transportation system for transporting troops, material, or any other purpose related to the emergency. International Emergency Economic Powers Act enables the President to seize the property of foreign countries or national. These powers were transferred to FEMA in a sweeping consolidation in 1979. Now, with all of these bills and legislation put in place, this is Agenda 21. This is their plan for the future of your United States. Are we just going to sit here and let them do this? Or are we going to do something about it? We cannot let this happen. Until next time.